26th of July 2014, when those lights came on for the first time in the Indian League. It was a moment that I think a lot of us knew that kabaddi had changed forever. And when we just saw the lights come on here in Hangzhou, pretty similar feeling coming back as well. But here they come. The most successful side in World Kabaddi. But the silver medal is something they didn't even get in 2018. It was a bronze. And they will go one better for certain if they just breeze past Pakistan. You have one chance to make a home. And here India have this one opportunity to make their mark in the sport of kabaddi, to make our country #1 again. And our women's team, after making the final, watching on eagerly.
How wonderful is that? 9-time gold medalist, 1 silver and 1 bronze. India will look to add to that tally. And on the other side, Pakistan. Our opponents, our neighbors, who have made it from the other pool, finished second in their group. They lost to Iran, but were very good against Malaysia as well as Korea to win their respective matches. And now, by virtue of being second, they take on the #1 team from our group, from Group A. And that's why India versus Pakistan, like you mentioned, Suhail, India have never lost to Pakistan in the Asian Games. Let's just hope that that record continues. In green and black on the near side of your screen, and it's India in white and blue on the far side.
Nice to see the appreciation come in as well for each other. A lot of success and a lot of history since the Asian Games were introduced in 1990. In 1990, in the group stage, India beat Pakistan 48-13. These men, some of them weren't even born then. 1994, 42-20 after the first match was actually suspended. And again, it was a gold for India, bronze for Pakistan. In 1998, again, just a few of these men will remember those encounters, but that was a really tough one in Bangkok. A gold medal matchup, 17-9 that ended. Low-scoring thriller. Those are the days where we didn't have your super raids, your super tackles, a 30-second raid clock didn't exist. It was all about your breath. The cant of kabaddi lasted as long as your breath did. But boy, has the game changed. It has become pacier, it's become so much more entertaining in many ways. And the last time we played Pakistan was back in 2014. We did not play them in 2018. And again, it was a low scorer, 23-11, where Pakistan walked away with bronze, India with gold. But 2014 will be remembered for that gold medal match versus Iran. And that was the start of a new rivalry, a new world superpower that was emerging in the form of Iran. Is meeting our match referees here.
Everyone that will adjudicate this semi-final matchup. We don't often see them on the kabaddi mat. India versus Pakistan, always exciting, but it will be very different from a kabaddi side of things when India take on Pakistan.
Mortaza from Iran, our match referee, experienced as he is. And this is the moment that many around the world have waited for. India versus Pakistan for a place in a gold medal match at the Asian Games.
India look very relaxed, and rightly so. They will come in as heavy favourites, and you'd like to believe that Pawan Kumar Sehrawat and the boys in blue will get the job done.
You better believe it.
Mohammad Imran on the other side, the captain of Pakistan.
He's chosen court, as you often see, which means India will raid first in the second half.
It's a different coin, isn't it? A red and a blue on either sides.
And there is our fantastic coach, Bhaskaran Edicheri. He's had so much experience as well, having won a league in India. Gul Badshah, the coach of Pakistan. They're a heavy-hitting side too. You go back a long way, the depth of Pakistani kabaddi. Having said that, though, they've lost out in the recent past, where Iran has just breeze past us. Aslam Inamdar, Surjit, Parvesh Banswal, Nitesh Kumar, Pawan Sarawat. And now, for the 7th time in Asian Games history, India versus Pakistan. And it gets underway with Pakistan raiding first. We're here in Hangzhou. It could be an afternoon to remember. And to take you through it, I've got Navneet Krishna alongside myself, Suhail Chandok here. We have liftoff, and it is Mudassar to start first. Number 10, Mudassar Ali. It is a packed house. Vishal Bhardwaj on the left corner, number 1. Rather, number 7. You've got Nitesh Kumar on the far corner. Pawan Kumar Sarawat. The middle, manned by Parvesh Banswal and Aslam Inamdar. And guess what? It's not Sunil Kumar, the vice-captain. It's Surjit that starts yet again. And that could be an indication of what we see in the final as well. Or maybe we're holding our cards close to our chest.
Yeah, you want to keep your cards very close. Mind you, it is Iran and Chinese Taipei in the next semi-final, and that is right after this. But our first glimpse are a superstar from India, Pawan Kumar Sarawat, and he's taken down. It's a defense coming in from the opposite side of the mat.
I like this from Pakistan. What a statement early. Not just on anyone, but on the captain of India, on the high flyer. They have brought him back down to earth pretty quickly. India's raiders touted for great things, but Pakistan, from a defensive standpoint, have always been strong. Now take a look at this effort. From the right cover, in he comes and absolutely hammers Pawan Sarawat. It's Akhlaq Ahmed who comes in first. You think back, Navneet, there's one name that a lot of Indians will be familiar with as well, Wasim Sajjad. I've remembered him with dump solo tackles on raiders from India. They are fearless, the defense of Pakistan. And I think we're going to see that thrown at India early. And that was a planned move, a planned defensive structure to go hard at Pakistan.
Because they did give 1 point on either side. Oh, there's one of the defenders gone completely out.
I think that's what's in question, whether the defender has also gone off court after Pawan has been hit. That is the big question. Look at the caliber of our coaches though. Sanjeev Balyan, an absolute legend of kabaddi in his own right. You've got Rana Nabil and Gul Badshah for Pakistan. It is some rivalry. You can feel the intensity, can't you, just when these two teams arrive on the stage for any sporting occasion.
Yeah, and truth be told, I think this gigantic tackle coming in the first minute will just get India.
Yeah, good call.
Just the 1 point awarded to Pakistan, which means there was no defender who was completely outside the blue area.
And we may not say this too often in this contest, but hey, Pakistan lead. And I'm not mincing my words when I say this, but I just think India just have too much might to throw at Pakistan. The defense will have to play out of their skins, but I just think in the raid department, Pakistan don't have the capabilities that India do.
And in some sense, just the kind of test that you want before that Iran contest, should we get through this in that big final. And Aslam Inamdar, starting 7. Naveen Kumar and Pawan Sarawat, the 3 that started off. Now this is some defending from Pakistan. They're sending blow after blow.
First, it was Akhlaq Ahmed from the right cover versus the right raider. Now with the left raider coming in Aslam, he's been slammed from the other side. And I'll tell you what, the Iran team will be watching this and smiling, because that's what they will try to do to throw India off their game.
And it's interesting that we've started with Aslam Inamdar. No Arjun Deshwal. He'll go with 2. And you can start to see the frustration creep in. Vishal Bharadwaj is out. Nitesh Kumar is out. It's Pakistan with the lead.
Iqbal Mazhar with a 2-point raid. India under the pump early. I think Pakistan heard us when we said that's the only time they lead in this contest, because they've come out firing out of the blocks. Maybe they were holding their cards close to their chest. But having said that, here comes Naveen Kumar. I mean, it's funny, you take Pawan off You take Aslam off, you've got a Naveen, you've got an Arjun Deshwal.
He's sitting in the bench, Arjun Deshwal. Ridiculous pedigree. But India down to 3. Super tackle opportunity for India. But more importantly,
India have also opened their account, Naveen. They did it through Naveen Kumar. He got the bonus. And so India are on the board. And that's the quality of Naveen Kumar. He knows how to keep it at bay. He flips the do-or-die raid sequence by getting a bonus. And as a result, there's no pressure here. India can now play on the super tackle if they want to. Having said that, Naveen looking for that typical heel flick. Oh, that's about 3 attempts at the bonus and then the running hand touch. This is how India come back.
that is just trademark Naveen Kumar. He is lightning quick across the mat. But how good was that touch? You barely saw him.
I just thought Pakistan missed an opportunity though. When he had those 3 looks at the bonus, that was a chance to just land a few bodies on Naveen Kumar. Yeah, look at that. They're counting the bonus attempts and asking whether there was a bonus there. I don't think there was, because I don't think the trailing foot was up in the air. Nothing questioning the running hand touch on Muzammil Zafar. But shouldn't be a bonus. Yep, bonus revoked.
India back to 4 now on the mat. Surjit is... Pawan Sarawat is back. It's Parvez Benswal now in that left corner with Naveen. Pawan and Surjit on the other side, looking for that opportunity. Iqbal Mazhar for Pakistan.
This to me is the only weak spot for India, because we're only playing with one regular right corner. So when Nitesh Kumar has been taken off court, you either find Pawan Sarawat in the right corner or in this case Surjit. And to me that's the risk, because with Pawan in the right corner it means he's going to take an undue risk and it means our lead raider can be under threat. But forget the lead raider, he says this is me, this is my time. Sliding toe touch on the reverse from Naveen.
Adil Hussain had no idea what was coming his way, and the girls love it. They're cheering them on. They're already in the final and they're hoping that the men's team can join them for a massive clash tomorrow.
And this is more like the Indian contingent we know. They were down 4-0 and they've come back to draw level at 4 apiece. And India back to 5. Yeah, done and dusted. See you later. That was a pretty poor raid, unfortunately, from Mudassar Ali. He knew he was in trouble. Stepped out into the lobby and thought people would follow him in there. But that rule has actually been banished. So he was gone, done and dusted completely. And Surjit getting a warning.
And just a reminder to all our viewers that you can only access the lobby once you've gotten a touch on a defender. But should you enter before the touch, you're already deemed out.
1 versus 4. Now this is where things get interesting. It is the toughest situation for a raider. You've got to cover the most area on court. But area he tries to cover, I think he's got to the midline. And I think Naveen Kumar will take at least 2 scalps with him. You've got to cross that midline, remember. You can't be on the white tape, you've got to be over it. Here he comes, 1-2. And I'm not sure if the third touch came before the midline or after. But this is where things get dicey for Pakistan. Worth another view, this. And Naveen Kumar has single-handedly given India the lead. Literally, all alone. It's Naveen, and more of him. 1. There's the second. And I think it's only going to be 2. I think the last touch from the defender, Wakar, came in after. So review coming, and now you see the eased up body language from both these men. They know that it was just an early blip, just a nervous start. I think they just saw India versus Pakistan and some of these boys got nervous. They've never played at the Asian Games. No one in this squad except for Surjit, and that was back in 2014.
Surely you didn't expect this Indian team to succumb to any sort of pressure. That was just a little bump on the road for those first 3 minutes.
What an overhaul we've had as well, Navneet, and I think with good reason. From 2018, for an Indian team to go to the Asian Games and come back with bronze, it was such a shocking result that no one from that squad has remained in this edition of the Asian Games. As I said, Surjit, the only man who's had prior experience from back in 2014. And I do think, as I said earlier, it should be only two.
Number 20, 20.
20 should stay, yeah, exactly. Waqar Ali came in after.
Out.
Akhlaq Ahmed should go off. Waqar should be on court.
21.
It should be Iqbal Mazhar, there you go. And Akhlaq Ahmed. I'm helping him out, why not?
You could do this on the mat as well.
I'm happier in the combo box, I'll be honest. Enjoying this occasion.
Just like that, India back to full strength. Just for a split second, you tuned in and you saw only 3 on the mat. Yeah, it was a little scare that Pakistan did give India in about 3 minutes into this match. But sanity has been restored.
And insanity may be incoming at the moment because so far he's been that outrageous, Naveen Kumar. 1 versus 2, heel and eye and all out here. And if there's an incoming move from Mohammad, there you go, perfect. Mohammad Imran, the captain, listened to us, went after Naveen. Naveen does the clean-up act. India with the all-out, 4 points.
It's India 11, Pakistan 4, but you can probably change that to Naveen Kumar 11, Pakistan 4, because this man single-handedly pretty much has wiped out Pakistan in a matter of 5 minutes.
And Navneet, for me, and I've said this before in this Asian Games, I think that's going to be the difference for India versus Iran as well. Iran's defense, fantastic. Iran's raiders, I don't think they have the quality. Even... days, even though we may not have had Iran's matches here, having watched a few of those matches, I just think Iran's defensive strength far outweighs their raiding capabilities. And I think while their defense will quite often get the better of India's raiders, their raiders don't have that top-notch caliber, especially when it comes up against India's defensive units, and not just the defense here at the Asian Games. So I think that's where Iran will struggle. And that's why I think at this Asian Games, I give the edge firmly to our men in blue. In comes Iqbal Mazhar. Pawan Sehrawat kneeling down for the ankle hold alongside Vishal Bhardwaj. India have comfortably taken a 7-point lead. Pakistan, after those first 4 points, have not scored a single point. That's how good India have been. That's how relentless India have been. And Aslam Inamdar gets his first points of this semi-final, you would imagine. He looked for the bonus, and I think he's got it.
It's almost like we'll give you your moment under the sun, and once we get started, we'll flip the switch.
Oh, he's not been given the bonus. He thought he definitely had it. I thought he had it too.
Advanced tackle there from Surjit. He was looking for company, but it was probably a little too premature.
India going with experience now, Navneet, in that right cover over Sunil Kumar. And I'm a little surprised by that because the famed pairing of Sunil and Parvesh, I would like to see more of that, but we'd love to see more of Pawan Sehrawat. Opens his account after he was slammed by the Pakistan defense in his first raid. First points for the captain.
You just want to make sure that numero uno is up and ticking. Just want to make sure that he's getting his juices flowing before that big one tomorrow in the final.
One versus 7. I mean, when you look at that 7, you can't... I'm just smiling looking at them because we don't get those opportunities too often to see a Pawan patting an Arjun Deshwal and sending him on his way, a Naveen Kumar. All those smiles will go away just as the smiles are being wiped off Pakistan's faces at the moment. Pawan Sehrawat with what should be the first super raid of this contest. Who else but the phenom, the captain, the high flyer?
How long are you going to keep him quiet? 3 points to Pawan Sehrawat. Just a couple of rusty raids to start with to get Pakistan involved in this match, and now you just announce yourself on the stage.
I think that first tackle just woke him up. It just pounded him. And then he said, oh, hang on. Okay, they're going to come at me here.
I'm just going back to what you did say. Is it also a part of holding your cards close to your chest? Listen, I'll give you a raid or two. Take it. And then I'll tell you why I am the captain of India.
In most sports, I'd like to agree. I guess here the trouble is you've got about 400 pounds of human flesh hitting you square on. So when you give someone a point, it's going to hurt. And that'll hurt the ego of Pakistan because they've picked up 1 point in the last 11 minutes, I think, Nav.
Yeah, they got those 4 in literally the first 2 minutes. But now you're starting to see India make a mockery, make you look really silly when it comes to defense. And that's what you can do when you have that kind of pedigree. And I keep saying this, I still can't believe that I'm seeing the pursuit from Naveen. That is just presence of mind and intelligence and experience from the Naveen Express.
It's a rookie error from Pakistan. Mudassar Ali was caught napping completely. Now, the question is whether he got a bonus as well, and they want to give it a late call. Our referee is coming back together. Our Iranian official, Morteza. So bonus first, and then a point to India. Yep, there you go. So bonus given for the Raider, and then he's landed there on that midline, did a little dance on the midline. Oh, Pawan says, I don't even want to give them that. Forget it. Why give them a bonus? I'm not so sure there's a review needed here, but I guess why not? Such a massive lead.
No bonus. No bonus. Raider out.
Going to make you earn every single point, and we don't think we have one for you there. Let's take another look at this replay. I just think he's cutting the white line, is he?
I think so, and then just lazy from Mudassar. He can't believe what he's done. Naveen Kumar, actually about 6 people wanted to come in for that pursuit. And a pursuit, for all of you at home, is when a defender heads back over the midline and he's a little lazy. Now, forget the do or die. It's just not a bonus.
Raider different out.
Yeah, the Raider's out anyway.
No bonus.
Yeah, no bonus. There we go.
Raider successful. No bonus. Raider out. 1 point different out. 2 point India.
Now, it shouldn't be 2 points India. It should just be 1 point India. Bhaskaran at the back is completely shocked. You only get 1 point for that tackle. So ignore what our referee just said there. Just a lack of communication, but a surrender raid and an all-out for India. Just remember, just no bonus was given. That's all you've got to think about. And then a surrender raid. So that's why they're having a chat here. No bonus. And that's what he's saying. No bonus, why 2 points? Yeah, 1 point, not 2. Yes, 1 point. There you go.
Like you mentioned, ignore everything else that is happening. Just the 1 point for the one touch from Naveen Kumar.
It's 1 point, sir. Yes. Don't worry, we've got you covered right here on the Sony Sports Network. I think Navneet and myself, Suhail Chandok, we've called enough pro kabaddi, professional games of kabaddi done around the world, and there we go. Finally, the decision comes in, but it's a bit late. The all-out has already happened after that. We're back with an all-in, an all-out, and all-in means all 7 are back on the mat. a little bit of confusion. And I guess in an India-Pakistan contest, even a match referee from Iran is under pressure. So we'll discount that a little bit. And a lot gets lost in translation. So don't worry, I think all of us know what's happening. And we've explained it to you back at home too.
Well done, Suhail. The last 10 minutes for everyone just tuning in. Pakistan have just picked up the 1 point to 20 points from India. You keep adding a few more to that. Vishal Bharadwaj with that ironclad ankle hold from that left corner. And India will keep themselves busy and keep that scoreboard ticking. He didn't need support. He really didn't need support from Aslam, and Surjit tosses him over.
And these are important moments, the ankle holds, because no matter how good or poor a raider is, it's the timing on the ankle hold. And if you start to just get that rhythm going, that form going, it's really important. Now, hang on. Is there a review coming? Vishal Bharadwaj is normally an animated character. Let's just watch this out here. The bonus is the attempt, and then in comes the tackle. After that, off he goes, dumps him aside. We'll have to try and listen into what... Now on court. Nervous looks on the sidelines. Rana Nabil and Gul Badshah, the two coaches for Pakistan.
It's been about 20-25 minutes since we've started this match. We've only rolled the clock down by about 12 minutes. We've had a few stoppages in play.
Welcome to India-Pakistan Kabaddi at the Asian Games. It's intense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. India versus Pakistan is enough. No matter which sport, no matter what the occasion, everyone just feels it that much more.
It's the 7th time in history that India and Pakistan have gone toe-to-toe at the Asian Games. India have always come out on top. Had a couple of very close ones. One in Bangkok was very tight. I think it was 17-9, the scoreline there in 1998. Then in 2014 at Incheon, 23-11. And as I said earlier, before the game, those were times where you didn't have a 30-second raid clock. Every raid would last as long as your breath did. The cant of kabaddi, 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 and that's the essence of this sport, the beauty of it.
It was a very, very different time, really, for the sport. How much it's changed since then. You know what? I've just been around the sport for about a couple of years now. Thankfully, deep involved. And I still can't get over the fact that we're seeing all of them on one side of the mat. Pawan Sehrawat, Arjun Deshwal, and pretty much everyone through that list you go through. A series of stars.
Yeah, it's quite amazing when you do. I mean, I've had the opportunity now with the Kabaddi World Cup in 2016 and the Dubai Masters and the likes to see these guys come together. But at the Asian Games, there's a separate moment of pride, and we saw this in 2018 when they were absolutely battered and bruised by Iran, and the ego was bruised as well. So for them, this is a chance at redemption, and that's why there's such a young squad, except for Surjit.
Yeah, just curious on that whole India versus Iran thing. Like you mentioned, it's a completely different squad this time for India. So in some sense, we're looking at two completely different teams, albeit India versus Iran. We met recently in the Asian Championships. You mentioned that we don't want to be reading too much between the lines on that result. So how do you see this go? Because how much have these two teams seen of each other with the current set of players?
So firstly, at the Asian Championships, there was no Fazal Atrachali. They didn't play with the senior squad. They also had a couple of others missing. I don't think Reza played in that tournament as much either. So in that left cover region, he is an absolute beast. You've got the likes of a Shadlu, who actually in this tournament will actually play more as a raider, because again, the raiding depth is lacking a little bit with Iran. And for me, Amir Hussain Bastami, Saeed Ghaffari, Reza, Shadlu can chip in alongside Fazal in that left-in position. Fazal Atrachali. It's a very different squad, and I've obviously since employed the services of the Iranian coach myself at the franchise at Mumbai, and I've had several chats with him about it. And he said, look, the Asian Championships, I didn't want to give too much away. And I'm happy to be sharing this information with you guys. But he himself knows that the raiding quality at Iran is lower. And that's why they're looking at Shadlu as a raider.
Aslam Inamdar will keep the scoreboard ticking. And just as a continuation to what you just mentioned, I'm just going to take that forward from an India perspective. Some of these boys that you see on your screen, how much have they seen these opposition? Because not everyone plays in the Indian League. Vishal Bharadwaj, business as usual once again, and India will keep themselves busy. But how many of these 10, 15 Indian players have seen some of these Iranians?
Well, most, I guess, now play in the league. You've got Reza, Shadlu, Fazal, Nabi Baksh, and Bastami, and Ghaffari has a little bit of experience in there. Hyder Ali Akrami isn't part of this squad, and Shadlu in some sense has taken his spot as a left raider as well. So the defense has been seen, but they've not seen them together. To me, that's the difference. You've played against a Fazal separately. You've played against a Fazal and Nabi Baksh. You've not played against a Fazal, Nabi Baksh, Bastami, Ghaffari and Reza. And that's when it hits you.
And I guess that's what's going to make this even more exciting, Suhail, is in some sense, expect the unexpected, because you almost don't know what's coming your way. Yes, India will walk in as favourites. Well, that's what's going to make it exciting. The X factor, the fact that they don't know much of each other as units.
Well, the advantage that Iran has is that you can watch so much footage of the Indian boys. And also, Fazal, being the leader that he is, he's played with Akash Shinde, he's played with Aslam Inamdar, he's played with a number of these guys. And a sliding toe touch from Naveen Kumar. We talk about the history of India versus Pakistan. Anup Kumar has been a part of those encounters. And the bonus ka Badshah, the toe touch maestro, will watch that and smile himself. That was glorious.
We don't call him the Express for nothing. He's rapid on that mat, and he has that spitting toe touch. Lightning quick.
Honest, I thought Mohit Goyat has done nothing wrong, deserved a spot at the Asian Games. He had a spot at the Asian Championships and they got gold. And Mohit Goyat for me is actually the best out and out do-or-die raider in India at the moment. So I was really surprised, and I'll be honest, a little upset not to see Mohit Goyat in this squad. And I've actually seen his rise through the Yuva series as well, and so too Akash Shinde. But to not have Mohit Goyat here and have Akash Shinde here, look, he deserves it as well. You can put three teams together and they'll deserve it. So it is an amazing moment for him, for Aslam Inamdar, for Naveen Kumar as well. Still young into his career, we forget that. He's been around the league so long. But there it is, another all-out for India. And the dominance continues.
I'm just looking at that scoreboard. We've not looked at that scoreboard for a while. They've only picked up that 1 point after that initial surge of 4 that they got in the first 2 minutes. India just saying, listen, you're taking India on. We'll tell you a little bit about how it works here. 29 points that India have scored in the last 17 minutes or so. And just given that one after those 4 points initially to Pakistan.
So after the first minute and a half, India have scored 29 points. Pakistan have scored 1.
And I'll be honest with you, we've had a few easy games in the league stages. I don't think we've had that kind of a scoreline in a passage of play, even against some of the group stage opponents.
I will say, I think Chinese Taipei is maybe a better opposition in some sense. We beat Chinese Taipei 50-27. I think this is going to be a bigger win than that. I think India here are looking at keeping Pakistan to single digits. But you know what I love about these pictures? Not just our Indian girls, but the Chinese fans that are out there. You know, over the last few days, all you've been hearing from the stands when our Indian men particularly play as well is a lot of oohs and ahs and amazing moments of absolute wonder. Because for those of you that are tuning into kabaddi for the first time, the pace of play when you watch this sport live, it is astonishingly good. There's a reason why there's more than 300 million people watching it, why it's the second most viewed sport after cricket in the country.
And we've spoken a lot about how the game of kabaddi is spreading thick and fast around the world, and China will soon obviously pick up big time. And it's not often that you'll get to see an Indian team do what they do on a kabaddi mat in China. And that's why if you get the opportunity to get a glimpse of some of the best in the business, now is the time, and it's so wonderful to see these Chinese fans there as well.
I'll tell you a lovely story in the second half about a young Korean raider on the women's side of things, and it'll blow your mind and tell you how this game is progressing. So stick around right here on the Sony Sports Network for a few more insights and stories, hopefully on the other side.
At the moment, because there's not much happening. A close look at one of India's greatest stars on the kabaddi mat, Pawan Kumar Sehrawat.
Look at the smile on that man's face. He spent a long time at the Inspire Institute of Sport, Pawan Sehrawat, in Bellary, recovering from his knee surgery. Had the opportunity to catch up with him there, and he seems like he's in a very good headspace. I think he was struggling just with that injury, of course, and being the India captain brings its own responsibilities, but he's got a massive auction coming his way as well in a few days' time. But so far, looking very healthy for India. Massive, massive lead into the half.
And that'll be it. 20 minutes into this game. It felt like this could be much closer, but India stamping their authority. 35. 13 of the Asian Games, and India inching closer to the 90 mark as far as the medals tally is concerned. And now on the kabaddi mat, India having some fun. Have a look at Naveen Kumar. Well, he's enjoying himself, and why not? He's had a fabulous time in the first 20. India 30, Pakistan 5 with a comfortable 25-point lead as we see if Pakistan make a few changes. Navneet Krishna here in the company of Suhail Chandok. Good afternoon, Suhail. Are you used to seeing scorelines like this?
When it comes to India, I guess, thankfully, yes. They're just that good. And especially in these days where kabaddi has advanced itself. Sachin Tawar comes on. Sachin Tawar delivers his first blow of the match, straight off the bench, and picks up a point. The attempt coming in from that left corner was never going to be successful. And Adil Hussain is the scalp.
It's interesting you talk so much about the pedigree of this Indian team, obviously with the kind of quality that they possess. I just, you did mention Sachin Tawar on raid prior to this. There's a certain someone missing as far as raiding is concerned when it comes to the Indian team. Suhail, no prizes for guessing. The record breaker himself, Pardeep Narwal. Talk us a little through that.
Well, he's part of all the scalps from 2018. When you get a bronze at the Asian Games and you are a powerhouse that's never had anything but gold, I think there's going to be a few scalps, and each and every one of those players has not returned. Now, they're just saying, your number 3 has fallen off, Aslam. He's saying, oh, hang on, okay, cool, sure. But I think that's not his fault. We know what Aslam Inamdar looks like, don't worry. He had a number 3 on his chest and it's fallen off. But yeah, just coming back to your question on Pardeep Narwal, to me, it's part of, for me, the progression of this game. It's form over reputation. That's why the likes of Rahul Chaudhary, Deepak Nivas Hooda, Pardeep Narwal, as good as he is at certain times, there's a certain change that's happening, Navneet, and I'm seeing this having worked a lot with youth kabaddi systems as well. The young guys are staying fitter through the year. A Pardeep Narwal, a Rahul Chaudhary, they turn up when the league comes around. That's 2.5 months, and they suddenly switch gears and they suddenly get fit. These young guys have a different mindset because suddenly they're being thrown into other tournaments. The younger guys under 23 are playing the Yuva Kabaddi series and things like that, and so suddenly they have to stay fit for much longer.
Different stage of their life cycle in some sense as well.
Exactly. So for Pardeep, he's enjoying himself for that period of time. You've got the Khelo India Games, which is a nice test. You've got the National Games later, just before the league starts as well. So when you've got those series coming in for a lot of the younger guys, they know they can't afford to not be fit. And they haven't proved themselves yet. So for me, I actually like this change. Heading into an auction, that's kind of one thing that I want to do, is invest in youth talent, invest in long-term talent. And I like the fact that India has taken that vision as well.
And make no mistake, in the last couple of seasons in the Indian League, it's the youngsters that have dominated. You look through the charts, most raid points, most tackle points, particularly in raid, you'll see some of the younger names right up there. The likes of an Aslam Inamdar, the likes of an Arjun Deshwal for that matter.
And you mentioned highest tackle points too. I'm a little surprised that Nitin Rawal made the flight and not Ankush. He was the leading defender from the last league and he was extraordinary. And again, if you're going to give form the nod,
yeah,
then you go there. But with Nitin Rawal, I understand they're kind of protecting themselves, given that Nitin Rawal is an all-rounder, a very good one at that as well. I just think there on the left corner, we could have gone for 2 out-and-out left corners. Given the raiding depth we have, we don't need an all-rounder really in this squad. We could have added a right corner instead, maybe.
It's a rare opportunity where they'll get a super tackle their way. We haven't seen much of that. And Pakistan will take 2 points. Muzammil Zafar in the left corner coming in with that hold, and really Sachin couldn't do much.
Nice support coming in from Akhlaq Ahmed as well. Much better showing in this second half so far from Pakistan. I think there is 1 point missing on the Pakistan side of the scoreboard, and there aren't too many. There you go, 7's been added. We've kept you on your toes, 8 as well, there you go. We'll try and keep you in the loop, because for Pakistan, I think every point here counts. They're looking to get into double digits first up, but a better showing already in this second half.
Picked up 3 points in about 5 minutes, so not too bad. He only got the 1 point in about 18 minutes in the first half. Aslam Inamda will tick them off for fun, like he often does. Very sprightly, young, enthusiastic, exuberant, and he's mighty powerful when it comes to those legs. You know, just being a part of the Asian Games, it reminded me, we spoke about what a great opportunity it is for them. A bit outside the kabaddi mat, it was visual of a few Chinese fans waiting to get the autograph of Saurav Ghoshal right after a squash semi-final. And when was the last time you thought about a few Chinese fans waiting to get an opportunity to get an autograph of an Indian athlete in China? It tells you two things. It tells you, one, about how, in which direction Indian sport has headed. And now it tells you a little bit about how the Chinese are starting to see India in different light as well.
And there'll be a fair few of them, Navneet, lining up to pick up autographs of these guys as well. These are superstars of the kabaddi world. They themselves, actually, this starting 7 of India, were queuing up to have their pictures taken with Neeraj Chopra. I saw a lovely moment with Ashwini Ponnappa and Pawan Sarawat as well. There's a lot of fervor around these games because, again, for a lot of them, they don't get the opportunity to play multi-sport events. So it's such a nice feeling to be in a games village with other athletes.
And that was exactly what I was trying to come to. We haven't managed to pan too much to the crowd that we have, but truth be told, there is a very sizable audience right now at the Kabaddi Center here. Lots of fans following Kabaddi in China. It tells you a little bit about the growth of the sport worldwide, let alone in Asia.
I was just telling you before the half, and I'll tell you a little story about a Korean woman, part of the team here. She's a former Miss Korea contestant, part of the finalists of Miss Korea. She's then served 2 years in the Korean army as well, done her army service. She's now part of the South Korean women's team here at the Asian Games. And she, in an interview, was talking to the media a few days ago. Oh, hang on, we'll come back to that. Sachin Tawar has just played a game of cat and mouse with the Pakistan defense, and he's got 2 scalps for it. So coming back to her, she was telling the media and everyone around her, she said, you know what? I do not want to be known as a Miss World contestant. I want to be known as a kabaddi player from here on. And I think that tells you how fantastic the growth of this sport is. It is really astounding to see.
From being Miss Korea to being in the army, serving the nation, and then being on the kabaddi mat. It's these overachievers. They really keep a high benchmark, a high bar for the rest of us, don't they? What were you doing?
I was playing cricket and sadly coping with knee surgeries. Yeah, you feel small when you think of the achievements of some of these guys.
Incredible.
There we go, Akash Shinde. Lovely moment for him as well. One of the Maharashtrian prides, part of the young brigade that's coming through. 40-8 out in front here. And with 12.5 minutes to go, India comfortably ahead. And a few changes for Pakistan as well. Usman Ahmed into the occasion, so too Akash Shinde. So nice moment for Akash Shinde. Pawan Sarawat, the captain, is on the bench for now. He's had his part to play, he's enjoyed it, and no doubt he will have a big role to play in the final as well. But speaking about the growth of the game, Navneet, I remember a couple of years ago, there were 14 guys, and I remember this distinctly. 14 guys, 14 friends, who in Geneva every evening would go to a pub and watch kabaddi highlights every day together. And they sent me messages on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. And they sent messages across with videos of them watching. And they had no idea what they were watching. But in 2 days, they were addicted to the game, then started to understand the sport. And they watched every single day together with a few friends, with a few drinks, and enjoyed proceedings as well. And that's the kind of sport that kabaddi is. And we hope that it will be an Olympic sport in the not so distant future.
I'm literally visualizing a bunch of boys at a pub on the big screen is kabaddi in Europe. Like, it's almost hard to visualize this. You come to think of it.
I'll try and pull the video up and maybe put it on one of our shows at some point.
Incredible. But truth be told, it actually, well, I have to ask the question, why don't we see much more of this? Whether we barely see too many national events, I mean international events. We see a little bit of franchise kabaddi. How do you see this go in the next few years?
You're putting me on the spot. I don't know how honest I should be sitting here at this stage. But look,
but you get what I'm saying. I'm just comparing this to the likes of a cricket, a football, and so many other sports.
No, and that is the issue. I'm totally with you here. And we're talking about this because India right now, by the way, everyone at home, are dominating proceedings at 44-8. And it's a good opportunity there for us to explain to you guys what the world of kabaddi is like. And I'm trying to be as candid as I can and still hold on to my job within the world of kabaddi. But yeah, you're right. That is partly the problem. I think we need to have more international kabaddi. I'm a proponent of it. I'm sitting on a couple of committees now to try and make that a big push. And Navneet, to me, it has to happen because that is how you grow the sport. Send coaches from India abroad. And again, as you said, cricket, you have the IPL, a long league, and then you've got bilateral series. You've got all the other stuff going around. With kabaddi, there's 2.5 months and then a gap. And except for the Khelo India Games or Yuva Series or the odd other tournament, a private tournament run, you're not really getting much else. So you will see a change. I know there's a league coming up, state-run league coming up in Tamil Nadu. There's one coming up in Rajasthan. As you see, the athleticism and why kabaddi is such a fabulous sport to watch. Sachin Tawar gets the better of Mudassir.
Look at how he uses the defender to just thrust his way past the midline. Great athleticism from Sachin Tawar. Completely one-sided this affair. We didn't expect it to be any different. But yeah,
be honest, Navneet.
after a 4-0 scoreline, 2 minutes into this game in favor of Pakistan. Oh, what a time it's been for the Indian contingent. We were hoping we would go past Jakarta's 70 tally. Pawan Sehrawat, it's Akash Sinde, sorry, will pick up 2 points and he's trying to get a third. Just being a little cheeky there. But wonderful times for India. We wanted to go past the first hurdle of 70 medals. We did that and well past that. We're close to touching 90 now. Hopefully, we can get past that 100 mark. It'll be quite the milestone. Opportunity to call special moments, not just of the Asian Games, but that'll go down in Indian sporting folklore as special moments. And speaking about special moments, we've been doing these conversations about you picking your best moment so far from an Indian perspective. I have an answer before I give you mine. Of that 88 medals that we have so far, what's your success story?
There's a few in there. I mean, Harmilan Bains is double, Avinash Sable is double, but the 4x400 for me is up there as well. There's a few, but since we're here at the kabaddi, I'm going to say Chinese Taipei beating Iran to get to the final from the kabaddi. I'll focus on that for now. And I'll come back to the India medal tally. I just want to focus on the kabaddi side of it for now, because that to me is one of the stories of growth of kabaddi. We're talking about that, and Chinese Taipei beating Iran and getting to the final. I think this Iran side, we're going to see what happened to the Indian kabaddi men's side from 2018. I don't think too many of these girls are going to be returning at the next games.
By the way, it was me and you this morning building up to India versus Iran in the women's final. We didn't see what was coming. Chinese Taipei had completely other plans. That was quite the result.
Good work. Nice to see Pakistan enter double digits. Not been easy for them. Mudassir Ali sliding through the lobbies. And you can hear the roar from the crowd as well. I think they have sensed this moment too. Sachin Tawar has looked really sprightly. One of those guys that he's got the long levers on him. He's got this incredible build. Almost perfect for an athlete in this sport. And he's a proper athlete. And that's the difference you're seeing now as well. We saw Sanjeev Balyan sitting in the dugout of India. He was known for these massive lion jumps. Rakesh Kumar one of the big athletes of kabaddi. But around them, defenders were never needed to be massively fit. Now, each and every one of these guys are true athletes. Look at the bodies that you're seeing on court at the moment. They are absolutely ripped when those shirts come off.
You love it when you see a really good definition hand touch on the mat, don't you? It's one of the trademark moves associated with the sport, and very few people are great exponents of it. He's claiming for 2 points. First that toe touch, and then one very simply handed to him on the way back.
Now an update. Atanu Das, Dheeraj and Tushar advancing to the final in the recurve men's. We will take on Korea, and the recurve more important in many ways than the compound because it is an Olympic event too. And what a way to come back. Atanu Das, we know he was distraught after a couple of errors earlier, but Atanu, Dheeraj and Tushar into a final here at the Asian Games, beating Bangladesh and take on Korea, and that is at 1:55 Indian Standard Time.
And it's a discipline that India have generally found it harder at in comparison to compound. And like you mentioned, compound isn't there at the Olympics. India have had a fabulous time as far as compound archery is concerned. But they're through to the final here. They will take on the might of the Koreans in that big final. But smiling face as always augurs well.
Nice to see Atanu Das with a smile on his face because he deserves it. What a team that is. He had 2 shoot-offs in quarterfinals and missed out on medaling in the compound. And just back to live visuals here on the kabaddi court. Now number 12, you see him there, Sajjad Shaukat. I've watched him before. And you see the physique of the Pakistan players. They're very different to the current Indian lineup. And they're counting the men here. And the substitutions coming in hard and fast for Pakistan. Number 13 going off, Adil Hussain. Sajjad Shaukat also going off.
Just a quick reminder, we started the day at 86. We're now at 88. India well and truly on, 12 medals away from that big 1-0-0. Kabaddi, cricket, wrestling. We have a few where we're likely to get a few medals our way, Suhail. I just get the sense that we'll touch the 95 mark around that area maybe, and from there on in, it's anybody's guess.
From then on in, hopefully it's just adrenaline pulling us to the 100. Is bar, so par, guess what? We're there, thereabouts. Yeah, Kabaddi, I will write down a gold for India in the women's now. Because I think actually, Chinese Taipei, while it was 34 apiece in the first game, we changed our tactics since then, and I think we might just surprise the Chinese Taipei and come hard at them. I think that's a gold guaranteed. I think our men should squeeze out a gold.
Extend that sentence and say we'll take gold in men as well.
I think we will, and I told you again, I just think Iran, they don't have the raiding quality. They have the defensive might. Having known that Iranian side through the coach quite personally, I don't think their raiders are up to the mark to even sort of compete with our second or third tier raiders. And I do think that our Indian raiders are way above par, and that's why a Shadlu is being used as a raider in Iran in that team as well.
It's incredible that Shadlu will not be in that left corner. You obviously, well, there's a Fazal Atrachali standing there, so it's no surprise as to why he'll be occupying that position. But he's done some special things in that recent season, Shadlu.
And imagine when you head to that left corner as a raider, you got Fazal in the left corner, Shadlu with his arms wide open in the left in, searching for an ankle hold. I mean, you just stay away. Just stay far away, stay up against that balk line and run past them and run across them, because you're not getting back if you put a foot there. Just like that. An attempted bonus in the left corner, and now a do-or-die raid. This is one of the new things. You look at the score lines of the past. As I said, we've beaten Pakistan in the past by very tidy margins, 17-9, 23-11, things like that. Now, since the do-or-die raid has been introduced, you don't get those score lines at all. So that is one of the new inventions of the game, innovations, I would say. 23-11 in Incheon in 2014 versus Iran. 17-9 back in Bangkok. And in 1998 that was. So those were times where kabaddi was much more slow and the pace has just gone up massively.
I'm actually picturing what you just told me on that left side of the mat. Pavan Sehrawat coming in. There's Fazal Atrachali and Mohammad Reza Shadlu right next to him. This is blockbuster TV, right? This is Waqar Yunus versus Sachin Tendulkar in their glory days.
Yeah, then you've got Reza on the left cover. You've got Bastami on the right corner. You've got a Ghaffari in the mix as well. Yeah, it's a mighty squad. It is a really, really good squad to watch. Defensively, I won't say the same, sadly, about Iran's Raiders. I say it with a bit of circumspect sort of thoughts, but I just don't think they got the raiding depth. They've got very young Raiders who I think they'll take 3 years to mature, and maybe in 3 years' time they'll actually have a bit of quality that we see from our Indian Raiders.
All of that will be here on the Sony Sports Network tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. India a minute and 45 away from a spot in the final, and unfinished business, yes, really, because the second semi-final is after this. So Iran, yes, big favourites, but they still need to get the job done against Chinese Taipei. Expected showing this from the boys in blue?
To me, yes. Yeah, I didn't expect Pakistan to be this soft, though. I would have hoped for a better contest. India, I remember beating Thailand comfortably on the women's side, 54-22, but on the men's side, 55-18 versus Bangladesh. And you look through the ranks there, 55-18. You got 63-26 versus Thailand, 50-27 versus Chinese Taipei. You look at the scoreline here, Chinese Taipei better than Pakistan in that sense. And that's why you've got the big laughs on the sidelines. Sanjeev Balyan, Bhaskaran Edicheri, two guys I will enjoy these moments too.
Having said that, I still think India operated in probably second gear in some of those matches. They probably shifted to third gear at best in this game.
Especially after those first 2 minutes where...
Which is why I said third gear. They were probably continued in second gear, if not for that initial little hiccup that we saw.
Do what I raid? Come on, go for it. I want to see a massive Aslam raid to take us home.
That sign, that do or die sign, has been rather dormant, hasn't it been?
You can hear the roars around the stadium, but Aslam Inamdar, I want to see something out of the top draw. Give us some blockbuster entertainment here. He will see that game clock go down, and I'm hoping after that he will send something in, but he's not going to. India take the win, 61-13, and assured silver or bronze from the men's kabaddi event at Hangzhou. What a moment this is for a young Indian men's kabaddi team.
Points in the second half to the 30 they had in the first. 61-14. Fairly easy, fairly comfortable, and India are through to the big final. Tomorrow afternoon, it will be the boys in blue on the kabaddi mat going for what they truly believe is theirs. A gold medal for the taking.
You'll have Iran versus Chinese Taipei in just some time from now following this matchup. And I actually think Chinese Taipei are a better side than what we just saw from Pakistan. And that tells you about the development of world kabaddi as well. But India comfortably sailing in with athleticism like that from Sachin Tawar, who's looked one of the best raiders, in my opinion, from this Indian contingent. But a monstrous win for them.
More importantly, everyone getting time on the mat. Akash Shinde, Aslam Inamdar, Sachin Tawar, Naveen Kumar, Pavan Sehrawat. We didn't see much of Sunil.
A good moment though for Akash Shinde to enjoy himself out there. Surjit manning the right cover.
We didn't see much of Arjun Deshwal as well. Surprising considering